An Android smartphone that becomes a tablet when you need it. That's the idea behind the new Padfone X from Asus and AT&T, and we have thoughts about the combined phone and tablet dock in another video published alongside this one. But if you're like us, you're going to spend much more time going solo with the more portable half. So, how well does it hold up as a standalone smartphone? Quite well in some ways, not so well in others. I'm Michael Fisher with Pocketnow, and this is our Asus Padfone X video review, Part 1, Smartphone Edition. Asus didn't set out to change the world with the Padfone X hardware. Like the two generations before it, the new handset is a nondescript hunk of matte plastic with almost nothing remarkable to set it apart from the masses, except for its Asus logo, which is still pretty novel to see on a handheld device. At 150 grams, it's a little on the chunky side given the materials used in its construction, and with no curves or clever flattening on its tank-like body, it feels even thicker than its 9.9mm frame suggests. While we understand a degree of restraint in design was required to build a phone that would slide into a tablet dock, there's no getting around it. The Padfone itself is big, bulky, and about as ordinary looking as you can find. Under the hood, things get a little more impressive. A Snapdragon 800, backed up by 2 gigs of RAM and 16 gigs of storage, is augmented by a microSD memory card slot, supporting cards up to 64 gigs in size. AT&T's 3G and 4G LTE bands are fully supported, along with Wi-Fi up to AC and Bluetooth 4.0, which comes in handy if you opt for the keyboard dock we'd talk more about in the full review. The display up front is a 5-inch panel at a very crisp 1080p resolution, and like most IPS screens, it's capable of some stunning saturation. Its pixel density means it's sharp enough for even the most discerning pixel counter, but its viewing angles aren't the best, and its daylight readability leaves a lot to be desired. Android 4.4.2 is the OS that lives on that panel, with a special software layer from Asus that resembles its Zen UI. Aesthetically, some of the skin comes off nicely. The notification shade with its bright whites and blues feels especially clean and fresh. But in other areas, like home screen widgets, the effect is more cartoony, with a lot of wasted space and a kind of beginner's edition smartphone feel. A software update will be pushed to devices before the official launch, so we won't comment on stability other than to say it's good that an update is coming. Because from the keyboard to the Asus widgets, to multitasking, to notifications, the pre-release software on our review unit is very buggy. On the back of the Padfone sits a 13-megapixel Pixel Master camera that lives up to its ostentatious branding in some situations. The viewfinder with its various shooting modes is a simplified version of what you'll find on most modern smartphones, and the photos it produces in broad daylight are acceptable. On the plus side, colors are rich, and the 13-megapixel resolution gives you enough detail and zoomability to get the whole picture, as it were. On the downside, digital noise is apparent in most shots, probably thanks to some artificial oversharpening, and that's especially true in the otherwise handy HDR mode. If noise is something you're willing to live with, and even if it bothers you, you'll still be impressed by the Padfone's performance in near darkness, where it offers not one, but 2 shooting modes to get the most light in. Low light mode confines you to less than 3-megapixel shots, which is kind of annoying, but it does crank the light up to a ridiculous degree. While night mode provides a better middle ground, letting you keep your resolution and almost always delivering a more balanced photo. Each requires a steady hand when shooting, though, so action shots at night are out of the question without the flash. On the front side, the 2-megapixel selfie cam won't be winning any awards, but it comes with enough options to keep you occupied. On the video front, 4K recording is supported, but we spent most of our time shooting in 1080p, which isn't the best. Frame rate is low enough to be annoying when you're doing even slow pans, and the digital noise from the still section is also evident here. Audio is muffled, and while auto exposure and focus seem to work well, colors are just a bit off. In sum, this is a camera you'll be happy to have in low-light situations, and, as with most smartphones, it gets the job done for a Facebook or Instagram photo. It offers easy-to-use software and plenty of resolution, but you wouldn't want to count on it for a wedding, even if you're just a guest. AT&T's LTE network delivers excellent throughput in our Greater Boston stomping grounds, and the PadFone X had no trouble grabbing and maintaining a 4G signal over our 6 days of testing. Voice quality is just fine, if a little on the quiet side, and noise cancellation seems to do its job well over the earpiece. The speakerphone is quiet, though, for notifications and for media, and located as it is on the back cover, it points the wrong way, so you'll likely take most handheld calls on the earpiece or over the included earbuds. Those earbuds are plenty comfortable, and they sound just fine too. With a Snapdragon 800, it should come as no surprise that the PadFone performs beautifully in browsing and gaming. Popular titles like Asphalt 8 played wonderfully on the 1080p display, with no hiccups or other issues to report. But with high-impact graphics on a Full HD display, the embedded 2300 mAh battery has a lot on its plate, and despite the very intelligent power management software, you'll probably have trouble getting through a full day of heavy use on a single charge. You should remember that this video review only covers half the story. The pad in PadFone is a crucial component of this combo, and our review of the combined pair is live on YouTube right now. But for the times you're out and about with just the phone, the experience is dead smack in the middle of average. Despite its heavy spec sheet, the PadFone is no blockbuster. But despite its shortcomings, neither is it a disaster. It's about as plain an Android flagship as you can find, which makes it fortunate that it's priced as competitively as it is, and that it's capable of some really neat tricks when docked with the other half. To see the other half of this review, click the video in the center, and stay tuned for our full review of the asus-Padfone-X for AT&T landing June 4th at Pocketnow.com. Till then, this has been Michael Fisher. Like this video if you enjoyed it, follow us where we talk, text, and tweet in the links in the description below, and above all else, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.